Hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. Man City have beaten Atletico Madrid. I've done two match reactions today, one for Liverpool, Benfica, and one for Man City, Atletico Madrid. So at the end of this video, make sure you go check out the Liverpool video talking about their victory, how it wasn't exactly what Liverpool had hoped, but they do march forward with the 3-1 victory. More in that video, so go check that out. This was so fascinating, this game. Let me start off just by showing you the momentum bar. Because I've never seen this before. And if you look really, really closely, I won't do a screenshot of it, but right at the end, there are very tiny blue lines. So the momentum bar it kind of talks about pressure. And so you can see, I think it's where the goal comes. That was high level of pressure, that little green bar there. But normally, the away side will have little moments and pockets. Not many, but they'll have something. Atletico Madrid had pretty much 1% of the pressure in this game. And we thought that was going to be the case. And actually, Atletico Madrid go home incredibly, what's the word? I mean, dipped in dark arts and aggravated, let's say. But actually, I think they'll walk away and it's not the end of the world. They go back to the wonder, 1-0 down. Yes, against a team that I don't believe they think they can score more than 2 goals against. And I think even 2 goals is going to be a stretch for them, because of the dominance of Man City and maybe the inability for Atletico Madrid once they're behind to go and get the ball and force the issue. And of course, the spaces that will reveal themselves after that. So what Simeone was clearly doing in this game was looking to stink it out. And I was chatting with Hugh about this on ESPN. We used the word turgid, and my God, it was so turgid that it was almost interesting. That said, in the first half, Atletico Madrid, they had a plan. You know, this isn't a 90-minute game. You know, this is a 180-minute tie. And so if you get yourself back home with a 0-0 draw, who cares how you got it? Especially against a team like Man City. Because I think if they knew that if they conceded too many goals, they would be in big, big trouble. I did want to show you, though, that first half. And let's have a look at the statistics first and foremost. Because if we have a look at the first half, no shots, full stop, no corners, nothing. 73% possession to 27% for Atletico Madrid. And that's kind of only high because of the amount of little passes that they played with each other. To be honest, 149 passes in the whole game, in the whole first half. In the whole of the game, let's have a look at the whole game, 297 passes. I mean, amazing. Amazing. 695 for Man City. They came and had a little bit more of a go in the second half once they were 1-0 down. But it was in the first half in particular, I've never seen such dominance. Not dominance is the wrong word, to be fair, because they had the ball, but they weren't really doing that much. And that was what was so fascinating about it. On the channel, we talk about space versus possession all the time. But what was amazing, and this is from Between the Posts. Check this out. So Between the Posts, this is the average positions in the first half. And they are so deep. And there were a few moments where João Felix and Antoine Griezmann, who are the 2 strikers, Suarez didn't play in this game. Cunha came on for them when they tried to have a bit more of a target man later in the game. But they were so deep. But at the same time, when we look at the pass maps, and thank you Between the Posts, by the way, for this. And I'll link you in the description, bud. You can see here that the blueprint for stopping Man City is there. You know, it is there in terms of the fact that you stop those false nines, and I've done a video on this when we're talking about the weaknesses of Man City and Liverpool with the title race in mind, and they were going side to side. Raheem Sterling was staying out wide a lot of the time. Nathan Ake is not really one who can truly sort of bomb on and around, and the tempo was a bit too slow. They weren't really playing those quick passes. And to be fair to Atletico Madrid, they were pretty impressive, Atletico Madrid, in terms of the interceptions. And that's the other thing as well. You've got to be sort of aggressive in terms of your midfielders to stop the ball getting to those false nines, but you've also got to read the play and not really make tackles when it's in those wide areas, and actually just read the play, make good interceptions. And you saw that João Felix, Kondogbia doing it as well. Reynaldo on that side with Mahrez looking to stop it as well. And in terms of interceptions for the whole team, we just find it. Where is it? For the whole team, it was inevitably it was going to be a lot. 14 tackles and interceptions. Amazing stuff. But yeah, lovely stuff in terms of these passing maps. But really, that's not going to hurt you because they had 2 very clear lines, and actually at times they were playing 6 at the back. It was It was amazing, but at least it's a plan. And Simeone had them very, very well drilled. There were moments where João Felix was trying to get on the ball and drive, but he was so isolated. And it was one of those where it was just going to really come down to two very clear different styles, and if time would run out for Man City and for Pep Guardiola. The changes were important here. Now, first of all, and I spoke about this in the Liverpool video, Liverpool made 3 changes in one go. And because you got 5 changes in the Champions League, both Atletico Madrid first did it, and then to sort of reinforcements defensively. But then Man City did it themselves as well. And in terms of those changes, Grealish, Foden and Jesus coming on for Mahrez, Gundogan and Sterling. And they were kind of running out of ideas a little bit. And this feels really, really lazy to say, but I've tried to get around it because I've tried to go, look, this team dominates every game they play. And that's a big thing, You have to, if you want to be the best, you have to dominate football matches. And that's where Man United will always come undone, is that they don't dominate every match of football that they play. And the more times you're dominating games, the more times you've got 70% possession, the more likely you are going to create chances and win the game and not concede goals because the opposition don't have the ball. So it's difficult to critique Man City. But what I would say is that I think because it's so well known and that sort of fluidity of Gundogan and some of the other players, it doesn't seem to be there at this moment in time. The zip doesn't seem to be there as much as well. I would have liked to see Zinchenko get involved. I think they were looking to score more goals, possibly from set pieces. I think that's why Nathan Ake started this game. To have that little bit of size and to make sure if they got any set pieces themselves, Atletico Madrid, that you would stop them. But I thought there was a moment where maybe you could get Zinchenko involved a little bit more. If we go back to Cancelo and his role, he actually played as a right back in this one. And you can see that from the way that they were trying to pass. Again, this is in the video. We talk about Cancelo's role and how that can be a little bit of a weakness. If anything, you can at least see that there's such that dominance on their left-hand side in terms of someone like Sterling. They were trying to get those players around him, and there were a few moments when Sterling was able to get across there and get amongst Vasalco. But with Cancelo, say his name right, Cancelo playing a lot more narrow, there was that desire to try and get themselves down that left-hand side. But to be honest, they didn't do much at all. Defensively, it was a really strong display from Atletico Madrid for the bulk of the game, let's be honest. But those changes, and putting Foden in he had a starting point of out wide on the right coming on for Mahrez. And once they got the goal, they were able to change that up. But the goal comes from his quick feet and an ability to get the ball through into those central areas. For whatever reason, the sort of movement in terms of getting the ball out wide and then having those sort of runners, be it Gundogan, who did it so brilliantly last season, or one of the false nines, that doesn't seem to be totally clicking for Man City at this moment in time. And that's why, although it does feel really lazy, you do go, imagine if you had a striker in there where you could put a cross in. That doesn't happen because it's pointless. Because, in terms of physicality, I'm looking at that team and I'm thinking, probably Sterling's the most physical one. And actually, he even tried it. Guardiola put him into centre forward and put Bernardo Silva out on the left just to try something different. And I think this is where Guardiola's got a difficult one, where for a team that uses the space so much, what teams are being able to do right now is to stop them going through the middle. At the same time, their inability to get round the back and into that space between the 18-yard line and the 6-yard line and then pull the ball back to like Gundogan and De Bruyne is making life a little bit difficult for them. So they're going to have to just stick at it. It really is as simple as that. But I did see, again, sort of elements of where they might continue to get frustrated. But what they did so brilliantly was they did retain that patience. They got Foden into a more central area, which allowed De Bruyne to be in a more central area. And it will be in tight spaces, and you need to show that quick feet, guile, vision. And that's what Foden did. Amazing. He did kind of rescue them with that little bit of trickery in pass. And that is the thing, when I talk about dominating games, Atletico Madrid, you cannot win the Champions League playing like this. There's a reason why Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Man City play the way they do. Because by dominating, you've only actually got to score one, because then you can just retain possession for so much longer. And, I talk about Liverpool and how there was a moment where they sort of bent a little bit because Benfica did well. But for Man City, once they score the goal, it's like just holding, it's like holding someone at arm's length, because they're so good at recycling and passing the ball. But of course, they have to get that first goal. So often, Man City, when they lose games, and that sounds obvious, but they concede the first goal. So for them to get that first goal, absolutely crucial for them. But that said, it just takes one moment. The one thing I was a little bit disappointed with was the ability for Atletico Madrid to counter-attack at pace. Of course, they've got quality in João Felix. Of course, they've got, endeavour and quality in Griezmann. But I felt like they were missing that bit of pace to really penetrate on the counter-attack. And are they going to open themselves up a little bit more? What I see and what we saw at the end of the game was just a bit of nastiness near the end, trying to wind up Grealish, who I thought dealt with it pretty well overall. Ederson getting involved with stuff with John Stones, getting stuff with Correa, getting involved in stuff at Atletico Madrid. It's a nastiness that it's petulance when you're not winning, when you're not having it your own way. And I think you could just smile and laugh at that if you're Man City right now. Diego Simeone did not shake Pep Guardiola's hand at the end of this game, which again is another thing that was just like, come on, mate. Like, this is a nasty little thing. But again, I wonder if it's just like, if we can't beat you properly, we're going to try and use every trick in the book to wind you up and to sort of try and just push you out of your stride in some way. So for Man City, they just need to carry on. They've got that one goal and wait for Atletico Madrid to come out, because otherwise they could play that same way and dominate the ball and, just win this 1-0. Atletico Madrid, it's over to you now, but they need to show something a little bit more impressive kind of with the ball, and an ability to sort of work through the lines, and one where you just can't. It's not giving up, but it's a lack of answers. It's a real lack of answers. And I think that's always going to hold this Atletico Madrid side back. And it's a side that I think has kind of this level of quality in terms of with the ball. They've won their last 6 games in La Liga, but they don't have that next level. And I think that's why they have to stink out games the way that they did. They did it brilliantly against Man United, but Man United didn't have that quality to break them down. Man City just about did. And that first goal is so important for them. It's up for grabs, but it's one of those where Atletico Madrid at home, you need to see a new energy, a more positive, progressive energy. They need to be a bit more assertive and a bit more cutting in terms of how they play, and go and take the game to Man City a little bit, which plays into Man City's hands. Fascinating one, really. In terms of man of the match, I'm struggling, if I'm honest. I don't think I really can find anyone. Feel free to let me know if there's someone that I'm missing. I mean, maybe someone like Felipe, what I thought was really, really impressive at centre-back for them. I mean, after that, I'm struggling. Cancelo had some really, really lovely moments. He did one little drag back on his own line defending. I was just like, you sure? And he was sure. Of course, De Bruyne getting the goal as well. Maybe you can give it to him. But yeah, war of attrition. Man City coming out on top. I think they can be proud of their philosophy and the fact that they stuck to their guns and got the victory. There's going to be moments where that doesn't work out for them, and we will see how that affects this weekend. But both teams come out unscathed, it seems. And as I say, I've got a preview for the Man City-Liverpool game that's coming out on Friday. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out the Liverpool match reaction, which is available now on the channel as well. Lots of content. I'll be back tomorrow, all being well as well. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. I'll see you next time.